College Gym Vids fan going live on YouTube. This is not a full gymnastics meet. It's actually not even gymnastics at all.
8:50 p.m. Exciting
It's actually
documentaries to watch for free on TikTok.
a full
Recorded.
Rescue 911 video. Let's see, I gotta decide which one I want to do. That's Married with Children. I think I'll do Bumper Baby, Dallas Cop Down. Well, come on. I'm pressing play. Oh, maybe I was doing it the wrong way.
Loading video. Please wait.
Helped him to get through the accident. Also, probably what helped it on was my mother's and father's love for each other. They love each other very much. I couldn't even begin to
These
explain
are
how
on
much
Get
they did.
TV.
It's been a hard-fought battle to have come from near death and fought my way back. It feels to me like it was my family and I that fought our way back. And so while at the same time there's the loss of the sense of invulnerability, there's also a sense that, hey, we can do anything together.
This is 911. Do you have an emergency?
Today on Rescue 911. Terror on the highway when a 2.5-year-old girl is missing.
Allison, answer me!
She's discovered clinging to the back of her father's truck at 70 miles per hour.
The child couldn't hold on. How could she?
Plus, when a neighborhood patrol turns tragic,
I have an officer down.
Dallas rescuers fight to save one of their own.
You hit pretty close to home.
On Rescue 911.
One of the great pleasures of parenthood is watching a child grow and develop. But the innocence and curiosity of children often make them particularly vulnerable. I'm William Shatner. Tonight, true stories of men and women who choose to make a difference on Rescue 911. We begin on the afternoon of March 28, 1993, in Wauconda, Illinois. Michael Horry was going to work that Sunday, leaving his wife Pam and their 2 young children behind at home.
It's kind of chilly outside.
Hey guys, I'm gonna get going.
Okay, you gonna leave now?
Yeah.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bud. I'll see you later. Bye. We're in Chicago. It's approximately 48 miles. Allison had been saying for the whole week that she wanted to come to work with me. I told her no for the 900th time, and I left to go to Chicago.
Hello? Oh, hi, Kevin.
It was
Yeah, he is.
a coworker of Mike's, and I said, you know, he's just about ready to pull out of the driveway. But I'll run out and tell him that you called, and I'll let him know that you're waiting for him.
Mike, Kevin called and told me you're on your way down. Okay, so I'll see you when you get back.
Okay.
When I walked back into the house, Ross was alone with the puppy.
Ross, where's Allison? Where? Allison? Are you back here? Allison? Where are you?
It was not like Allison not to answer me.
Where are you?
And I was hoping when I walked out the door, she's going to be there.
Allison!
And she wasn't. And then it started. The scary feeling.
Allison! Answer me!
There's a forest preserve next to our home, and then there's a highway not too far. And I know how fast a child her age can be. But my biggest fear was that someone had taken her.
Allison!
When we continue,
I was so frightened. We were going at 50 miles an hour. This cannot go on. The driver did not stop.
as Pam searched for her missing 2.5-year-old daughter, Peg Ransom was heading east on nearby Route 176.
Just coming out of town, I began to see a square-shaped truck. Then I noticed there was something right in the middle of the truck that I knew I couldn't be seeing. The truck disappeared for a while, but as I came back up, there was a little tiny standing on the bumper. I was so frightened. We were going at 50 miles an hour. This cannot go on. I speeded up and I began doing anything I could to get the attention of this driver. But the driver did not stop.
It was a real nice afternoon. I had the windows down, so I could hear nothing except the wind blowing through the cab of the truck. I noticed there was a car behind me, swerving across the double yellow lines. The only thing I thought that possibly the person had been drinking or was trying to pass me. Well, on that road, you can't pass. And there's really nowhere on this road to pull over because the shoulder's too small. So I just sped up to get out of the person's way.
Nothing I was doing was working. And our speeds went to 60, 65, 70. After we had traveled several miles, up ahead, I saw a traffic light. And he rounded the corner. It was a country road. Where was he going? How long was it going to take for him to get there? How in the world could she have the sense to hold on where every instinct would say, get me out of here, get me away from this? Allison!
I was thinking, my God, she's gone and I'll never see her again. I felt like I was just sinking into a hole.
I knew that if I pulled back, that my chance of getting the driver's attention would be nil. But if she fell, she'd be in my path. The child couldn't hold on. How could she? I did everything I knew to help, but I wasn't helping.
Dick McGill, an off-duty firefighter, was driving in the opposite direction when he spotted Peg waving at the truck in front of her.
I couldn't believe it was for real at first. I thought I was saying things. If she would have fallen off at the speed we were going, I didn't see how she could survive the fall. I could do CPR, but I think the damage would have been far beyond that.
I looked in my rearview mirror, and there was a man who was giving me a high sign, and I knew then that I wasn't alone.
Wakanda Police Dispatcher Pamela Human took Dick's call.
I was totally scared for her, and I froze when I got the call.
I knew there was an intersection coming up. I knew I had a stoplight there. I knew that was my only spot that I could get around them and that I could get them stopped.
Police? Yes, hi. This is Pam Horry. My daughter got away. She's 2.5 years old. I can't find her. I need help. Where do you live? 219 Drive. She was barely out of sight and she's gone.
We're always told never assume anything, so I did not assume that it was the same little girl on the back of the truck.
As the light turned red, the driver behind me swerved around and pulled up beside the truck.
You got a kid on your back bumper.
She got a light blue jacket on, blonde underlay hair. What kind of a jacket? Light blue and pink. What's her name? Allison. Oh, God, please help me. Okay, I got 2 officers around. She was in my house. I walked upstairs to say goodbye to my husband, and she's gone. Oh, please help me. Oh, God, please. This is terrible.
All I saw was my daughter. Everything, just like you went underwater, I couldn't hear anything.
I thought of all of the what ifs. What if there had been a lot of other road traffic? What if she hadn't held on to whatever it was she was holding on to?
I figured there'd be some tears both ways because the little girl was crying. I know if I'd have sat with him, I probably would have cried with him, but I figured everything was fine, so I just left him be.
She's wearing a light blue and pink jacket, blonde hair, and she's wearing light blue jeans with flowers on them.
That's the guy I stopped.
10-4? I'll advise her. My husband. Oh, my God. She got in the back of the truck. That's what I just thought of when I was...
Okay, so they should be home soon, Pam.
Well, how did you find that out?
One of the firemen was following your husband with the little girl on the back, and he advised me, and I called county, and
She was on the back of the truck on the outside of it?
yeah.
And then it hit me, the shock and reality. I thought, my God, this is a miracle. It is an absolute miracle that a child of her size could hold on.
Thank you for giving me on the phone.
No problem, Pam.
Bye.
Bye.
The way it turned out at the end was fantastic. No one had gotten hurt, and she was safe and sound.
Allison's parents are still recovering from what happened that day.
It's just taught us kids are really unpredictable. And just when you think they're at your feet, they might not be. And where they might be is somewhere you would never, ever, ever imagine.
She's very special. Very special. You could call her daddy's little girl, I guess. I'll always be eternally grateful for them. Dick McGill and Peg Ramson. There's no way I could ever repay either one of them back.
I'm not going on that flock. Never again. I go get hurt.
I am so thankful and so relieved that this had the type of ending it did, because it could have been so tragic. And I look at her every day, and I hold her at night when she goes to bed, and I just say,
I think Ross looks like he has Down syndrome, like Bumper Baby, where Allison was 2.5 years old. She was hanging out the back of the truck. I mean, I don't know if her brother Ross has Down syndrome, but it looked like his facial features were like a Down syndrome kid. I don't know. They didn't say anything about it, but. Trying to fast forward through the commercials.
Now every Sunday from 6 to 10 p.m. Eastern on Get TV.
No one knows better than the police how violence is changing the landscape of America. And there's nothing routine about handling what's waiting out there, as police officers in Dallas, Texas discovered on the night of November 13th, 1991.
213 on the signal 32 at Ellsworth and Sperry. Thank you, 210.
Sergeant Tony Crawford and Officer Elena Perez were on routine patrol around 7:30 p.m. when a suspicious persons call was dispatched.
Sergeant Crawford, who is a supervisor, doesn't normally answer calls, but he volunteered to answer this one with me. If we see anybody walking in the neighborhood, we stop them and ask them, have you seen somebody that stands out? Did you see that doesn't belong in the neighborhood? Sergeant Crawford told me he didn't see anything, and then we were interrupted by the second call.
248, take the signal 32 at Wendover and Wabash. It's going to be at the Lakewood Elementary. 210. That's right,
Dallas Police Dispatcher trainee Isabel Huerta was on duty that night.
I was going to send 2 other officers, and Sergeant Crawford said, no, that's related to our call. We'll go ahead and take it.
Why don't you go down and see if you can talk to them?
He asked me to go talk to the complainant, and he was going to drive around and look for the suspects.
Take the signal 32. It's going to be at Wendover and Saunders. 3 backgrounds walking in above area. One wearing a fat shirt, another wearing a blue shirt, and another one on the bottom.
Apparently what happened was he saw 2 suspects who did not fit the description of the call, but something got his attention.
He said, meet me behind the Lakewood Elementary School. And I responded, 10-4. When I got there, I saw the vehicle with the headlights on, the driver door open, but I don't see him anywhere. And then I saw a hand waving at me, and I hear the words, help me. Sergeant Crawford was covered in blood.
213, I have an officer down at Wendover and Wabash. Start me an ambulance.
Didn't hear an acknowledgement or anything, but a few seconds later, another officer got on the radio.
12. 12, go ahead. Yes, you hear they have an officer down at Wendover, an officer's been shot.
And I realized that I had my radio on B channel where only the officers can hear what's being said and not the dispatcher. I wanted to get some suspect description, and he said that it was 2 white males that they had beat him and taken his gun.
When she told us 210, then we automatically knew that it was Tony Crawford that had gotten shot. I felt bad because he's the one that hired me. And he said, well, you make sure you take care of us out there now. Don't lose any of us out there in the field.
Shot me in the back.
And he told me that he couldn't feel his legs. He was convinced he was going to die. And I thought he was too. He told me to call his wife. He told me to tell her that he loved her.
Within minutes of the shooting, Dallas Fire and Rescue units arrived at the scene, including paramedic Kelly Rand.
We knew we had a policeman shot. When you get calls like that, you get real concentrated because it's somebody that's like you that's out there doing a dangerous job. He was having diminished feeling from mid-thigh down. And I asked him to move his feet or toes, but he could not move his feet.
En route to the hospital, Tony was treated by paramedic John Cheney.
The thing that frightened him most was that he wasn't going to be able to see his family again. He kept saying that he carried a picture of his daughter in his pocket, and he asked me to get it out of his pocket and held it in his hand. And I had a daughter of my own, about the same age, and it hit pretty close to
2
home.
minutes and something seconds left.
Tony's wife, Pat, was bathing their daughter when she heard a knock at the door.
I saw the 2 police officers standing there. The female police officer said, "Your husband," and it just clicked right then. And I asked her, "Is he dead?" And I just started crying.
At Baylor University Medical Center, 31-year-old Tony was examined by trauma surgeon Michael Foreman.
Anytime that it's a policeman or a fireman, they're more like family to us when they come to the emergency room.
See here, all the bullet debris.
The CT scan showed us the bullet stopped just short of entering into the major vessels in the abdomen, which would quite possibly have been fatal. But his spine was effectively severed. And once the spinal cord has been severed, there's no hand that can put it back together.
More than a year after the shooting, though paralyzed from the waist down, Tony is winning the battle.
He's working out on exercise.
For 3 months after the shooting, I was in rehab, 8 hours a day, 5
Now
days a
he's
week.
swimming in a swimming
I
pool.
was left in the hands of some wonderful therapists. They said this is what you need to
Part
do
of his
to
therapy.
be back out in society, to take care of yourself, and that's what I did.
Tony went back to work for Police Chief Bill Rathburn as Employee Relations Coordinator.
He's a very, very bright, delightful
Maybe
person
he'll
to have
be in a
around.
wheelchair
One
for
that
the
helps,
rest of
me
his life.
enormously. His value to the department is not in his legs, it's in his brain and in his heart. And so I think he has a lot to offer, so I think he has a very bright future.
The young man who shot Sergeant Crawford, an escapee from a juvenile detention center, was found guilty of attempted capital murder and sentenced to life in prison. The second suspect pleaded guilty to aggravated assault and was sentenced to 10 years.
1, 2, 3, jump!
We have a life to live. We have each other. We have a daughter. We have a lot more than what a lot of people have. And we're happy.
My family my wife especially, has been my kick in the pants. She has been wonderful. And my daughter kept me active because she's 2 years old, and she hasn't let me have a moment's rest. Thank you.
You kiss on my nose.
The situation made me realize that the main focus that we should have is our children. Tell them every day that we love them.
His
And tell them every
wheelchair's
day
in
that
his house
they're doing
when he
good
was
and take care
spending
of them, help
time
them
with his
grow.
wife and daughter.
Good
He's
job.
probably going to be in a wheelchair for the rest of his life.
In 1992, Tony was chosen by the Texas Rangers to throw out the first ball on opening day.
He's exceptional, absolutely exceptional human being.
people knowing.
I mean, I understand what it's like to have a disability. I was born that way. So, yeah, he became disabled. He wasn't born with a disability, but he became disabled.
In main menu.
For more Rescue 911 full episodes, hit the big red button and subscribe. Peace out, YouTube.